The A's presented drafts of both the non-relocation and development agreements to the Las Vegas Stadium Authority. The takeaway here is that, well, not much has changed. A few more details were, I suppose, confirmed, but mostly it was just bureaucracy. Huge questions remain, and those last week hailing this as a watershed moment for the team's relocation to Las Vegas were left with egg on their face. On the scale of all-time disappointing reveals, this was somewhere between Maggie shooting Mr. Burns on The Simpsons and Hornswoggle being Mr. McMahon's son. Ugh, both of those seriously sucked, yet each one made a lot more sense than the A's plans to fund its Las Vegas ballpark, which still have no commitments, nothing firm apart from the $380 million that are a part of SB1. That happened 13 months ago now, and since then, John Fisher and his band of incompetent cronies have managed to accomplish almost nothing. The team has what right now? A handful of renderings and that weird diorama that was shown during Big League Weekend, an exhibition featuring the A's in Las Vegas that they could not even sell out. By the way, do you want to know why only 4 renderings of the Las Vegas ballpark have been released? Most design firms charge on a per rendering basis, and we know A's leadership is not going to pay for anything it does not have to pay for. 8 is enough for Dick Van Patten in Sacramento, but in Las Vegas, I guess John Fisher felt like he could get away with half of that? 4 is fine for the Athletics, I suppose. Returning our attention to the present day, the team's leadership could not tell the Las Vegas Stadium Authority how exactly it is going to fund this new stadium. They couldn't even provide an explanation apart from just saying, we're good for it.
We have yet to secure the debt financing.
Do not tell that to the Las Vegas Review-Journal's Mick Akers, who must have thrown his copy in a Graviton carnival ride before publishing it, because that is how much spin this article contains. In the lead, Akers claims that the Athletics have clarified how exactly they're going to pay for this new stadium. Make no mistake, though, in no way, shape, or form did anything resembling that occur. Sidebar here, you do see a fairly large error in the first sentence of this story. It would be easy to pile on Mick Akers for doing this, but honestly, I'm going to let it slide. This is 2024. No one is paying for a copy editor. No one's really reviewing anyone's copy these days. You write it, you upload it to WordPress, that's it. Is the error bad? Sure. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. These things happen in modern times. What is not forgivable, though, is leading off the story with something that is not news, let alone new. Everyone knows the A's need all of this money to build the stadium, to get this project off the ground. And in these sentences and paragraphs that follow, nothing is revealed in that regard that wasn't already known. That being, the A's have no funding in place, nothing secured, and no plans to announce. After finding a much more positive way to say that, Akers throws in a quote from A's executive Sandy Dean that says absolutely nothing. Here it is. We're in good shape with the financing. It's something we've been working on for a long time. No shit, Sherlock. You've been working on this for a long time, yet you still have absolutely nothing to show for your efforts. That is downright embarrassing. Better yet, why is it taking your organization until the very last minute to accomplish just about anything? That's what happened with both the draft of the non-relocation and development agreement. The A's couldn't get anything cobbled together until basically moments before the meeting began. The entire athletics operation as it relates to relocation is being run with the care and urgency of a college sophomore whose roommate just got a PS5. Nothing is getting done until a deadline nears.
And the Fisher family could do all of the required equity for the project. And also, it's been reported that we think it would be a positive to have outside investors in the team, particularly investors from Las Vegas. And so we are going to talk with folks about that. And that's something we'll be getting going on in the coming months.
What's worse is that when something does get done, it is completed with the least amount of time and effort as possible. One statement that gained a lot of traction in the media from this meeting is how the Athletics only plan to spend $350 million of the $380 million in public funds allocated to the project. Plan, of course, being a relative term because the team doesn't have a plan in place to fund the stadium, so they can basically say whatever the hell they want in that regard right now. There's no accountability to what they're saying here as it relates to the public funds. They're just really just throwing stuff out at the wall and seeing what sticks. To that extent, how many plans has the franchise just flat out reneged on over the past few years? I have lost count. It's that many. The A's saying they have a plan is about as reliable as Marge Schott saying she's not a racist, or Jack in the Box saying they have enough employees working the drive-thru. It's just words for the sake of saying words, but what really gets me here, what really sticks in my craw about the entire Athletics potential relocation down to Las Vegas is the ridiculously low standard that John Fisher is being held to throughout the entire process. What he has been allowed and continues to be allowed to get away with is downright scandalous. If you, me, or any other red-blooded American out there applied for a credit card, we'd be expected to turn over more information than Fisher has had to turn over for this new stadium in Las Vegas. Rental agreements require the average person to jump through more hoops than what the A's have needed to jump through in Vegas. Basically, all the team has done is said, we're good for it. But we know the team is not good for it. We have a track record of the team saying it's good for it and then not being good for it. They've already backed out of one deal in Oakland when it came time to pay up. If John Fisher and the A's had access to the $800 million needed in Vegas, he could have easily started Howard Terminal. That stadium would be done by now or nearing completion if he was well and truly good for the money. Better yet, if Fisher was good for it, why did he have to hire some firm to go find investors to help him build the ballpark? That doesn't sound like someone who's good for the money. It sounds like someone who's desperately trying to cobble together a plan here. That move, of course, happened after everyone of note in the city told him pass on that ballpark project. Funding here, if it was in good shape, this thing would be over the line by now. It feels very much like the A's are at square one with nowhere to go, and that kind of blows my mind considering Mark Davis, of all people. Mark Davis, one of the most incompetent, foolish, just an idiot if there ever was one, still managed to get his stadium financed down in Las Vegas. Fisher can't even get out of the blocks. There's another thing worth mentioning here as well, and that is the irresponsibility of the leaders in Vegas, Clark County, and the state of Nevada. They should really have known better given everything that went down with the Raiders and Allegiant Stadium. It does take two to tango, and Fisher has found someone he can just trample all over across the dance floor. I guess it probably shouldn't be surprising when you do have folks like Danielle Gallant calling the shots down there. This entitled former San Francisco yuppie is an out-of-towner who moved to Las Vegas because she could not hack it in the real world. This is an individual who felt being a family therapist was too stressful and went into the world of real estate. She could only do that because she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Opportunities that you and I will never ever even comprehend she had. Gallant once bragged to the Nevada Independent about how she was having deep political discussions with her parents at the age of 6 years old. Yeah, she's one of those people. Since we're just out here making wild claims, you know, when I was 6 years old, I once suited up for the Sonoma State baseball team and went 3 for 5, but I found collegiate baseball to be too hectic for my lifestyle at the time and preferred to focus on kindergarten. Prove that this didn't happen. Exactly. You can see the issue here. Gallant and others calling the shots in Las Vegas and Nevada in this ordeal do not really care about those people they represent. This is all about doing themselves favors, things that'll help them get ahead down the line. And of course, it doesn't hurt when you have those $1,000 bribes, $1,000 donations coming in from the Oakland Athletics. Donations, not bribes. Wink. Seriously, if anyone in the state, city, or county really cared, they'd be asking tough questions and demanding answers before letting this process proceed. Forget about everything else surrounding the relocation, the team, the fans, all of that involved. Take baseball, take John Fisher out of it. You are handing someone $380 million of public money. Do they not deserve to have a comprehensive idea of what exactly is happening with those funds? Not someone saying we're good for it, not an individual saying we plan on building a baseball stadium, but an actual dyed-in-the-wool plan. Really now, the public has shown how they're actually contributing those funds. Those funds are confirmed and backed in reality. So why can't the other party here do the same thing? Why can't they detail how exactly they're going to put their money into the project? It's not a huge ask, and simply saying they're rich is not enough. If anyone had respect for their constituents, the people that voted for them, they would be demanding a real, tangible plan for this stadium, including all of the details as it relates to financing. This isn't even about being for or against the stadium, being for or against the A's relocation to Las Vegas. It's just all about the truth. It's all about having knowledge and being able to make a informed decision here. You cannot build something without paying for it, and more than a year since securing public funds, John Fisher still does not know how he's going to pay for this damn thing. Hold on a second, you might hear some faint murmuring from those like 4 Las Vegas A's trolls out there who post on every video saying the A's have financing, they have a plan in place, they just don't want to tell you about it. Firstly, stop enabling. Second, no, the A's don't have a plan. If they had a plan for financing, they would have revealed it by now because they are desperate for anything resembling good publicity. Better yet, they would want it out there ahead of this meeting so the entire thing wouldn't risk blowing up in their faces. If they had a plan and had not announced it at this date, then they're dumber than they look. If even somewhat competent officials were in place, this thing would be dismissed out of hand. Fisher and his friends would have been told to come back when they either had something tangible, and if they didn't, they would have been swiftly shown the door. The entire ordeal feels like it's devolved into one of those college basketball games where both teams are playing the 4 corners offense. There's a lot of activity, there's movement happening, but nothing's being done. No progress is being made. We remain right back where we started. In fact, we're probably all worse off having sat through these shenanigans. John Fisher and the A's have proven once again to be limbo champions, continuing to find new ways to go lower when that seemed damn near impossible. Hey, there may be one final option left for the Athletics to secure that stadium financing down in Las Vegas. In fact, it would allow them to get a leg up on the pile and refinance their dreams.
Bad credit? No probalo. Home run. Escrow.
Look, maybe one person out there is going to get that reference, but I still dropped it anyway. So thank you for putting up with my obscure references, and thank you for watching this video. If you would like to see how I believe Sacramento and Oakland could share the A's, video upper right hand corner of your screen, and to better understand how owners and professional sports leagues use these relocation sagas to turn fan bases against one another, video lower right hand corner. Until next time, I'm Shine Hollis, this is The Touchback, and as always, hashtag sell a team and hashtag take it out to the 25.
Get a leg up on the pile and refinance your dreams. Come along down.